Hi, everybody. For those of you not in the know, we'll discuss these later, but those of you who are in the know that this is an indication that I'm going to be speaking momentarily to the one and only CJ Russell, otherwise known as Mr. Ginger Minj. Are you there? Do I do this right? He should be accepting my request. Oh, are you there?
What's up?
Hi, gummy bear.
I can't hear you. Give me a minute.
Gummy
Uno momento, por favor.
Okay. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the second edition of hashtag The Real House Husbands of Drag. Last week, I got the great joy of talking to Mike Alvarez, otherwise known as Mr. Manila Luzon. And today, CJ has joined me to eat some gummy bears and talk about life with our significant others.
Oh, I'm so excited.
You're here to join us, and we're so glad about it. Hi, CJ. How the hell are you?
Hey. You know, I saw when I first came in that you were eating gummy bears, so I thought I would come on and just...
Well, I actually have a couple of different things to try. I've never had the sour ones.
Oh, girl, the sour ones.
So I got a pack of them, too.
They're everything.
But if I'm being honest, the only reason I went to Walgreens was because the Easter candy is half off. And, like, I can't even tell you how much I love Russell Stover's jelly beans. To me, these are the best jelly beans in the world. And I got them for half off today. And I left 3 packs there, but I bought 4 of them.
You're going to be the reason.
But the other thing I got was airborne. I'm going to eat some gummies and put some vitamins in my system to prevent all these diseases and stuff in the air, man.
You're going to be the reason there's going to be a Jelly Belly shortage.
Oh, yeah. Well, Russell Stover's, I think, took over Jelly Belly, but yeah, these ones are real special. I love them. Where did that start? How did it even become a thing? Ginger and Fifi, right?
So it all started because we did Ginger's Crossdresser for Christ show in Tampa 2 years ago at this point. And we had done a promo video where she sat there and just ate a cupcake in complete silence.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that.
And ended it with her just scarfing it down and saying, hey, just come and see the show. And that's how the video ended. So we were thinking about ways to kind of continue that without it being a cupcake every time. So it just turned into gummy bears. They were there. Like, it was literally the next thing that we had in the house. And we said, we'll just do gummy bears. And we just did gummy bears. And now everywhere we go, all people give us are gummy bears. We love them. We have totes and totes and totes of gummy bears.
It almost became like the new acting exercise or an improv exercise. Latrice and I did one in the lobby of a hotel. We were sitting there mad because our hotel room wasn't ready, and we had some gummy bears, and we well, we can act mad right now. I'll be Fifi, you be Ginger.
Yeah, and you just eat them, and they're so easy and convenient because they're just so small. Like 2 or 3 of them get the trick done,
and they make so much noise when you chew them. So it's fun to watch somebody. It's especially in this day of like ASMR.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
or whatever. You know, something that a lot of people might not know is that Ginger called you Chris too. Like, we're both Chris's, right?
Yeah, I'm Christopher, and you're Christopher.
I am. What's the J for?
It's my middle name. It's John.
Oh, I couldn't remember that. Maybe I knew it at one point, but I'm a Lee. I'm Christopher Lee.
Oh. CLH.
Yes, Christopher means one who walks with Christ, and then Lee means one who walks in the meadows. So apparently I'm just skipping along with Jesus all through the meadows, like an episode of Little House on the Prairie. They really wanted me to be skipping along. Yeah.
I'm named after my mom's best friend, because when my parents were like doing the sonogram and everything, they told my parents, oh, well, you're gonna have a female, So start thinking of female names, blah, blah, blah. And my mom was like, oh, I'll name her after my best friend of 25 years, Christina. And then, like, fast forward
Bring me
9
the
months,
axe.
here I am. So they
I
had to
think
think on
my
their
mom
feet
was
real
told
quick.
she was having a girl at one point too, and I think she was going to call me Chastity,
Oh.
which is so unfitting. I'm so glad that I was not, I couldn't have lived up to that. Could not have done it.
So where'd the middle name come from?
I want to kind of just kick things off by what? Say what?
Where'd your middle name come from?
That's my father's name.
Oh, okay. Same with me. John is my dad's middle name. We just snatched.
But I want to just kick things off, I guess, by just saying, like, my first real memory of getting to know Ginger was when, like, really getting to know her was when she and Latrice were booked to work on Rocky Horror together in Texas.
Oh,
and I don't think you were there for that. I remember, I think you were around, but you were not in Texas with us, right?
Yeah, I was working.
And Fifi was actually in that production as well. So I definitely got to see their friendship. But like the first day of rehearsal, Ginger and I looked at each other and I think I said, oh, wait, what's your rush, what's your hurry? You gave me such a fright, I thought you was a ghost. Have a minute, won't you sit you down. Sit. I think we were just immediately into Sweeney Todd references, and you can't just go there with just everybody minute one, you know what I mean? So when she was finishing my sentences, you and I were just quoting Into the Woods and our it's your father's fault that the place got cursed and the curse got placed in the first place. And I knew real quick that we were going to be good buddies, and we have been. So
oh yeah,
you know I love her and him and all those people.
All those people.
How did you two meet? I don't remember.
We met. So there's two stories. There's the real one, and then the one we tell our parents. The one we tell our parents.
Oh, okay.
Then our parents know the real story now. But the story we were telling them was that I was at work. I used to be a manager at Universal, and then Ginger walked into Universal.
Oh, because you do love a theme park, girl.
Oh, girl, I'm in Orlando.
You do love a theme park.
I love me a theme park. But the story was she walked in. I said, "Oh my God, you're the most beautiful person I've ever seen. You look familiar." And she said, "Oh, you must have seen me on Drag Race. You know, I did the show." And I was like, "No, I remember seeing you in my dreams." That's the story we tell my parents.
Oh, well, that's a sweet story.
Yeah.
What's the truth?
The truth is we met on Growler. Which, if you don't know what Growler is, it's Grindr for hairy fat people.
Well, I mean, for it, yeah, I feel very excluded right now. I feel underrepresented.
Hey, you got 1/3. You got the hairy face, so you're an honorary.
Right. It's true. I keep everything else pretty trim, but I'm very hairy. I have to like maintain it to keep up. But
yeah,
you know, I'm going to be 40. I'm going to be 40 this year, so I accepted about 15 years ago now that I was no longer a twink. We've definitely
I will pray for you.
On past that.
I will pray for you.
No, I'm into it. I've been old for a long time, so I'm glad it's finally like I've got the age to back up the shit I talk
now. And then we met on Growler the week she got home from being eliminated on All Stars.
Oh my gosh!
So the week she got eliminated, she got home, jumped on it for a day.
Jumped on it.
Right? She jumped on it. She jumped on the app, not on me.
You chose your words very carefully there, didn't you? I don't know Ginger to jump on very much, but I bet she did on you.
You know. And then we talked that entire day, like nonstop all day. Got her phone number. We talked and talked and talked. And then she came over to my house, and we just sat on the couch and talked till I had to go to work. And then I went to work, and we continued to talk the entire week until she went out on tour and was doing something. I don't remember what she went on tour for, but she went out on tour, and we continued talking, and you know, things spiraled and became, you know, we spiraled upwards. They spiraled upwards. We went on a bunch of dates. We went to Disney for a lot, and then we like hung out for a month and got to know each other before anything became official. So it was really. It was fun. It was different because, you know, in this community, we're very sexual beings, if you will. I mean, it's the stigma that gets attached to you know, the community. So it was really nice to have somebody who wasn't like that. and somebody that I can go to the theme park and just talk to and be me without any thoughts of something sexual right away. You know, it's like it's hard to explain, but
no, you're doing a good job of explaining it. I understand what you're talking about. Like, we are definitely expected to be attracted to certain body types in the community and live up to certain ideas or whatever. And
exactly.
Sometimes it's hard to meet people that are really looking to engage with a person and not just a type or what they are going to consider to be the best arm candy for themselves or whatever.
And it was nice to like actually go and do other things that didn't involve going to like Southern Nights or going to Parliament House or going to a club and then, you know, being around a bunch of people when you're trying to get to know somebody, but like going to Disney and going to like IHOP, which we did a lot when we started like hanging out.
Come on, IHOP. I love IHOP.
Girl, I would work from, because I did Halloween Horror Night, so I was working 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. or 4 a.m. depending on when we closed. And Ginger would come and pick me up at 4 in the morning. We would go to the 24-hour IHOP around the corner from my house, have some breakfast. I would go home and sleep, wake up, and just do it over. Like, we did that for a month. So it was a lot of fun. Like, it was different. I wasn't used to something like that. And like, the real beauty of it is, and Ginger says this story all the time, I had no idea who she was when I first started talking to her.
Well, sometimes that helps. I can't say the same. I met Latrice at a show. I went to her show like any other fan. So I definitely was aware of who she was as a personality and everything. I wasn't expecting to be here. This isn't necessarily what I thought was going to happen when we met. But I definitely knew who she was from TV. I mean, that season 4 had really just like sailed beyond what the show had done before up to that point. And then she went immediately and did All Stars as well. So all of that had happened in the same year. And so by the time we met that December, it was like she had completely taken off and was the rock star she is already, you know? So
amen. It's funny, I knew who Latrice was, and I didn't know who Ginger was because my ex-boyfriend used to watch Drag Race. And so because he used to watch Drag Race, I would watch Drag Race, and the last season I sat down and fully watched was season 4. So,
well, had you ever dated a drag queen before?
I had never dated a drag queen before.
But you had been around them. You had been in the community at bars and stuff.
I was never a bar person. Like, I never went out to the bars. I never went out drinking. I never did drag shows or any kind of shows in bars to begin with. I didn't think I would ever date a drag queen because in my mind, drag queens were very self-absorbed, cared more about drag than anything else, like this whole stigma behind it. I mean, but
there are examples of those personalities amongst the community. We can fairly say that without pointing any fingers, right?
Oh yeah. So I never saw myself dating a drag queen because I didn't really understand what drag was. In my mind, drag was this person who wanted to be a woman and live their life as a woman. I didn't understand the art form behind it and how it was very theatrical and it was very
especially for your partner, like Joshua is such a theater kid and Ginger is definitely thought out like a theater character and is completely even though there's so much of his personality in the character, it is separate from who he is as a person. And and he loves, and I mean this in the best way, he loves community theater. He wants to be a part of a process. He wants people to be around and to be involved in what he's doing. So that's a very different perspective than a lot of drag queens have that are exclusively bar entertainers or something like that, you know?
Yeah. But like Ginger opened my eyes to like all of what drag is as well on the theater aspect.
Airborne.
Amen. Girl, get that vitamin C.
Mm-hmm.
But it really opened my eyes to the theatrical aspect of drag because I'm a theater kid. I was a techie in high school. I did lighting and sound and all that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it opened my eyes to that aspect of it, of the let's put on a 2-hour one-woman show and add lights and sound and multimedia and all this other stuff. And it was like, oh, this is pretty awesome. This is a different side of what I thought a community was. So it was pretty eye-opening. It was awesome. It was really awesome, actually.
You're getting compliments on your hat.
I know. Thank you, Jake Yonsei. I bought it
Does
at
anyone
Spencer's.
still wear a hat?
I bought it. Oh, look at that hair, girl! I need a haircut.
I know. I did my own Britney Spears moment the other night, and it just didn't look good on. I was like, do not zoom in on this. Let me put a hat on today.
Normally, I'm coiffed, but
you do. Well, you had mentioned that you had an ex-boyfriend that watched Drag Race, but those of us who were watching Drag Race had seen that you weren't around yet either.
that was
You're not the only one with an ex-boyfriend or two laying around, huh? So yeah, like, how was it for you then once, like, your relation, because you were around for a little while before your all's relationship was public, but then once it was public, it was very public. So like, what was that experience like for you, kind of like clarifying Ginger's new relationship and what was really going on? Like, that had to be a very confusing experience.
It was interesting, and the way I look at it is I was kind of thrusted into this public eye, if you will, because Ginger is such a gay celebrity and such a public icon in that world. So I was kind of pushed into this new role as the arm candy, the boyfriend, and the fiance and the husband. So it was interesting. That's the best way to put it. It was interesting.
And to just taking the Drag Race element out of it for just a second, I moved to South Florida from Tennessee, and I've gotten to know Orlando a little bit over the past few years, and South Florida smells you out for a minute before they will let you around comfortably. Like, these people have been around each other a long time, and they are rightfully very protective of their sisterhood, and they've seen a lot of boys come and go and take advantage of the girls and just want to get backstage and bringing lots of negative influences around, or just trying to get the tea and say they know somebody or whatever.
Those race chasers.
So I know that you and I both were I feel attacked right now. But I feel like we both, just on a South Florida level, had to kind of prove ourselves loyal to our girls over long periods of time before we were sort of like, all right, I guess you're okay.
Yeah. Well, my first gig I did with Ginger, as her boyfriend, was, and I'll never forget it because she embarrassed the hell out of me, was we did a show in New York City. It was a Halloween show. And Alaska was part of it. Courtney was part of it. Chad Michaels was part of it.
The Brandon Voss thing.
The Brandon Voss Halloween thing. And that was the first gig I did with Ginger. So I'm up there, and a lot of the girls knew who I was because they had seen the photos of me and Ginger together. But they were all kind of curious as who I was and why I was there, and all this other stuff. And then Ginger goes up to Courtney and goes, "Courtney, this is my boyfriend, CJ. He has a big crush on you. You're his favorite." And walks away. And I'm just like, thank you so much for that.
See, that's hysterical.
And so from that point on, I was just like, oh, well, I guess now I'm kind of part of this family, if you will.
Right.
But
I met up with Latrice on the road. We weren't working together at that point, but I met up with her in Seattle, Washington. She was working at our place. And it was Jujubee was working, and Robbie Turner was on that cast, but she hadn't been on Drag Race yet. And I forget who else. Wendy Ho was there, I think, that weekend. And that's really the weekend that we fell in love. And Jujubee met me, and she was kind of the first ones to be like there and seeing it. And I definitely remember like that feeling of once the girls started to get to know you, you were like, oh, okay, this is a thing. They're like, they know who I am. They've been talking about me in other gigs in cities that I'm not in.
There's a whole network that I didn't even know about for a very long time until probably about 2 years ago, when it was given to me that there's a secret group that they all chit chat in, and I had no idea about it.
Oh,
and
the girls?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for
And they
sure.
have that huge group text.
For
I was
sure.
just like, this is, y'all are catty.
Well, and they've splintered off over the years too. Like
Mm-hmm.
each season will have
Yep.
a group text, or if you go on a particular tour with a group of
Yep.
girls, or the All Stars will splinter off or whatever. And so,
There's
yeah.
some tea for everybody watching.
Well, all this started, I shared this last week, but in case anybody didn't catch it, the reason we're doing what we're doing here today is because we have our own secret group on Facebook so that we can talk about them too.
And none of them are in it. None of them are in it. It's literally
No.
just the husbands and the boyfriends.
You know what's the funniest exclusion from the group to me is that Nebraska doesn't qualify because she's one of the girls. Nick San Pedro is part of the group,
Yep.
but Nebraska, even though he is a boyfriend, really, girl, you're one of the girls. Like.
You get more gig as one of the girls. So.
Well, one of the other reasons that, Derek and his throuple are a good example of this too. You know, talking about being in just public relationships and everything. Our place became the place that Latrice proposed to me on stage, and it went like crazy, and our phones were blowing up, and like all that nonsense. And then you guys went crazy and got married at DragCon.
Thanks for making me sound like a lunatic.
No, man, I'm not trying. I just like that would have been so overwhelming to me, and I am so curious to know, like, really, what was your experience of it, and like sharing that with everybody, and all that.
Well, somebody said they cried when they watched that video. I cried watching it too because I look like a fool.
You all getting married?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had lipstick all over my face in the proposal video. And like all over, just boo-hooing, ugly, crying.
So if you watch my interview before I walked in with World of Wonder, you can tell exactly how I felt by what I look like. You could just tell it was very overwhelming. I'm standing outside the door waiting for Ginger to finish the makeover on lactation, and Petey from World of Wonder comes up to me, 2 cameras and a microphone, and starts to interview me 10 minutes before I'm supposed to walk in there and have this happen. So I'm like sweating, trying not to throw up, like shaking, hyperventilating because I have no idea what's about to happen or anything like this. There's a line of people standing next to me trying to go meet and greet one of the queens, and I'm just pacing, and people are looking at me like I'm like about to have a heart attack. And then the moment happened, but we kept it very quiet. We really honestly didn't want to make it, you know, this huge thing. We wanted it to be a surprise to the fans that went to the makeover panel as kind of like a, you know, you guys are special to us. If it wasn't for you guys, you know, this whole thing, DragCon, would not be possible. So this was kind of like our thank you to them, to be part of such a moment, and all of what happened during that day, you know, us getting married and Michelle being kind enough to come in and officiate it.
Okay, so let's just push the pause button for 3 seconds.
Pause.
How much do we love Michelle?
Oh, she is everything. I text her almost every week.
I don't text her every week, but there are some weeks that she did, because I know we all do. We all want more Michelle time. Like and I really don't know how she manages to get back to as many people as I think she gets back to, because I know that she's there for so many fans, and she gets so personally involved with so many stories. But she is another, very much like I connected with Ginger when I met Michelle the first time, and we were talking about musical theater. I was like, so what kind of parts like would you really want to play? And she's like, oh, you know, musical theater stuff. And I was like, yeah, like what? Like, I'm ready for the conversation. Like, what are you going in for? Like, what are you trying to do? And she kind of gave me like a side eye, but then she realized, oh, he really is ready for the conversation. And we were cool, and I got the privilege of playing piano for her a couple of times, which was just like over the top.
That's incredible. She's amazing. I remember my first tour with her was Christmas Queens 2017.
Yeah, right.
And that was my first like full tour with her. We'd worked with her before, you know, she did our wedding. We did a few gigs. I met her at Battle of the Seasons when they came to Orlando. And you know, she's amazing. She's one of the nicest people and one of the realest people I've ever met.
It's true.
She's not brutally honest, she's just honest. Like if something is bothering her, she will tell you. And what you see is what you get with Michelle, and it's amazing. It's refreshing. There's no sugar coating. It's just, this is what it is. You smell. You look busted. Like, this is what it is.
Well, and I'm gonna I've always said that I'm so relieved it wasn't me that they picked to go on All Stars for the like makeover challenge, because if I'd have had to stand there and let her read me, I would have just like melted. I couldn't have done it. Couldn't have. Oh, no. But I do hope that one day that we can get David to come on this show. That would be
insane.
It's absolutely a real drag husband.
Oh yeah, he's the one that we all inspire to be.
It's true. It's true. And he's so good and patient with all of us. And like, you can tell sometimes by the look in his eyes that he really has no idea or interest in what's really going on.
Exactly.
But he's still so supportive and present and kind to everybody.
Yeah. And he remembers, you can have a conversation with him and then like see him 3 months later and he'll remember the conversation and continue that conversation.
It's absolutely true. I ran into them for just literally like 3 seconds at the AJ and the Queen premiere red carpet. Mm-hmm. And I was actually kind of taken aback by how like he kind of like came at me insisting on getting a hug before we moved on. I was like, God, calm down, I'm coming. And I was, but then I went, oh good, that just means he is really excited to see me.
Yeah.
But I was, you know, I don't know. Do you get self-conscious in those environments? I'm like always ready to be told that, sir, you don't. And in fact, that night I did, like security was like not letting me through where I needed to be. And
I'm always ready. I'm always ready for it. I always have that like, okay, where's security? He's going to ask me this. He's going to tell me no. He's going to tell me to leave. And then I'm just going to have to be like, fine, but you can go tell somebody else that I'm leaving and then deal with them. Because they're the ones that'll be mad.
Well, at one time in Europe, I came from backstage and the guy tried to prevent me from going out front. And I was like, you know, this is completely backwards of what you're supposed to be doing, right? Like, I obviously came with, I'm American. We were in some non-English speaking country like Germany or something like that. Like, I was trying to take a video of the performance, and it's so crazy what people will get in their heads.
It is. But I mean, you know what though? I look at it and go, at least they're doing their job. They're trying to prevent people they don't know from coming near, you know, our husbands and hurting anybody. So at least I take comfort in knowing that. But at the same time, I'm like, shut the fuck up. You know who I am?
You want to have that moment, but you know it's really not your moment to have. Because like the last thing, because as soon as I pop off, it's going to be on Reddit on Jake Yonsei the next day about Latrice's husband popping off on the AJ and the Queen red carpet. Hi, Jake Yonsei.
And then I'll be there going, I saw it. It was true. He hit someone.
No, so Neek actually kept me from it. She was there, and she and I had to. She saw me about to pop off, and she just came and chilled with me for a minute. She's a good one. The thing about it, this whole being in the public eye and dealing with these tour schedules, and that one of the reasons I connect with you and Ginger, feel like we have a similar dynamic in that. I don't know. One of my least favorite questions that I get is, do you go everywhere with her? Well, no, I don't go everywhere with her. Sometimes.
Yeah, I wipe her ass. I make sure the toilet seat is down. Yeah, everywhere.
But like sometimes we travel together and we're together 24/7, and sometimes we're not together at all for really extended periods of time. And that's I'm curious how you guys go about dealing with that and what that experience is like for you.
Yeah. So when we first started dating, I didn't go out on tour with Ginger at all because I worked and, you know, I had a 9-to-5 job and all this other stuff. And then we noticed that the touring was getting a lot more intense. It was going longer, and then it would be like she would be home for 2 days and then gone for 2 weeks. So I quit my job. Come on, open those jelly bellies. Those Russell Stofers. Sorry.
Russell Stovers.
Sorry. So I quit my job, and then we started touring a lot together. You know, I did the Christmas Queens tour. I did a few other tours with her. And then there are times where I don't go on tour simply because it's easier for me to stay home and take care of the dog, take care of the house, and do all those kind of things while she goes out for 2 days. It doesn't make sense for me to go for a day or two.
Slight pause button. We're also both new homeowners.
Exactly.
So like we have grown up responsibilities. Our air conditioner is leaking, man.
Yeah. So like now I'll stay home on some tours and she'll go out and do what she has to do. Plus it also provides a nice little break. You know, when you're around somebody for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you just want to, you know, hurt them. So giving that little break, that 1 or 2 day break.
I'm not acting innocent because my husband's sitting across from me and I don't want him to think that I ever would think that ever.
Mine just walked in to take her pads out of the dryer. As I said, beat her. So,
this is glamour.
Right?
This is glamour. This is the
glamour that nobody gets to see except for us.
It's true. It's so true. I'm just glad she's washing them. We're all relieved about that.
Wash them. Yeah.
Woo! You hear my husband cheering y'all on?
Yeah, wash it, wash it.
Latrice says, wash it, wash it. But it provides a nice little break. You know, it keeps it fresh. It keeps it, and then you know when Ginger gets home, it's that, oh my God, thank God you're home. Kiss, hug, kiss. Okay, now let's sit down and watch TV, or let's plan on going to the melting pot, or you know, continue.
Oh, nothing will piss my husband off worse than you taking him to the melting pot.
Or
don't take him for no damn fondue.
Oh, we have a melting pot around the corner from where we used to live, and me and Ginger went 3 or 4 times a week.
That's a lot of melting. That's a lot of cheese, girl.
We're fat, so it's fine. But we basically have paid for the owner's like kids' college fund at this point.
Well, you know, one thing about you, CJ, is that I've noticed over the years that you really have gotten quite the following for being able to, you know, own your size and your shape and all your curves and your swerves and your things and such. People really do appreciate that you celebrate the fullness of who you are. And so, like, how did you come to get to that place of where, what do you think's different between you and other people?
It's just and it goes back to, you know, Ginger opening my eyes about drag and just kind of accepting, you know, this is what I do. This is who I am. This is my livelihood. This is, you know, this is who I am. If you don't like it, then fuck you. And that's kind of the idea I took of becoming a lot more comfortable with who I am and the way I look, and the body positivity idea was, this is who I am. This is the way I look. I love me. If you don't love me, then that's fine. I'll continue to move on. But at the end of the day, I love myself, and that is the most important thing in the entire world, is loving yourself and not caring what the opinion of others are.
Yeah, you know, I definitely think that one way that my partner and I bonded was that I never exactly felt like a type in the gay community either. Like, I wasn't exactly just a twink. I was a little too smart for that. You know, like, even when I was a twink, I didn't like being one. I didn't hang out with other twinks. I was always hanging out with people older than me. And like, I was a little too clubby for the musical theater people, but I was way too musical theater for the clubs. And like, I wasn't a bear. I wasn't like, especially in my younger years, I was a little scared of the leather community and older guys and stuff like that. And so, you know, not that I didn't have my wild days in New York City or whatever, but like, it's been an interesting relationship to my own self of like, how do you, because I'm not the muscle guy either, you know. When I was a 21-year-old, you know, you were supposed to be still like straight acting and all these muscles and all that. And I guess there's still that to some extent, but I feel like we have opened up in the last 10 or 15 years. Like, not only are we more visible to the straight community in general, but there are more kinds of us visible to each other. I can find more people like myself while we're traveling and through social media that I didn't know existed before. And you're a great example of that, of somebody running around in their underwear that,
You know.
would have been told not to or whatever. And I love it.
But I still won't go to the beach because I hate the beach. Not because I don't love me. I just hate the beach. I don't like sand. I don't like salt water. I don't like
Why
none
are
of
you
that.
hating on the beach?
I like the beach for 2 reasons. 1, to watch, and 2, to watch. That's about it.
Well, I can't, not to go too political or too tragic or whatever, but especially since you live in Florida, they're saying, that some of the beaches opened up in Jacksonville, and we just could not believe that they were flooded with people.
Well, we had, so continuing all the political stuff, just to kind of get it out of the way.
Sure.
In Orlando, like 3 or 4 days ago, about 150 protesters went outside of City Hall and protested about opening businesses back up, and that they need to work, and that they need to go get their haircuts, and that this is a hoax and it's not real, and that we're turning into like a dictator state because of the governors. I'm like, and believing that like they don't have to wear face masks and all this other stuff. And I'm like, okay, y'all are gonna sit in Florida where we have more now than New York is, because we keep a trajectory of so high, but y'all want to, okay, all right, well, Darwin's
and New York is really, really struggling. Like, I am so glad I don't live there anymore.
Amen. Like, I lived on Long Island for 18 years. So, we just talked to Tina Burner.
Can see this is much better than that. I'm doing okay for myself today.
I miss snow every so often, but I'll go touch a snowball and call it a day.
Right.
But like, we were talking to Tina Burner the other day. Who's
I didn't know anybody ever talked to her.
Yeah, well, we try not to.
I don't even know her, but I know it's funny to read her, right?
Tina Burner is amazing. She's one of the most creative queens I've ever met. Because every time I see her, she has a new look turned out because she can sew. So all of her stuff is like every time. New mixes. She hosts like 4 shows in New York every week. She's our reigning Miss National Comedy Queen. I
didn't remember that. Yeah. I do now that you say that.
Yeah, she just won. So she's amazing. But we were talking to her the other day, and she was like, I've been stuck in my house for almost 2 months now, and I don't foresee us getting out until like November or December. And I'm like, that's insane.
It could be a thing, man. It could be a thing.
It's scary.
So let's talk about that part of it. How you guys have been doing so many online digital shows and stuff, and you even have one later today, I think, right?
Yeah, we have one in an hour from now.
So tell us what you've been up to and what the children need to know about where we can find Ginger and yourself and what you're doing.
So at 6 o'clock, we are doing a
Eastern Standard Time, right?
Eastern Standard Time, yes. We are doing a Dolly Parton show.
Oh my God. My God. I love it.
To benefit Drag Out the Vote, which if you don't know what Drag Out the Vote is, it is a organization, it's a nonprofit organization that helps the gay, lesbian, trans community register to vote. Basically, us to vote. They go to drag shows, they go to a bunch of the tours, and they help those who don't know if they're register to vote because it's important to go out there and especially now, to vote and let your voice be heard. So we're doing a show to benefit them. So all of the tips we get for that show, we're going to get donated right to them. And that show's at 6 o'clock on stageit.com/digital drag fest.
Okay. So did you know that on my new little single, Give Me a Holler, I feature Dolly Parton's niece, Jada Starr, and her songwriting partner, Barry J, as my harmony vocalists.
That's awesome. I did not know
It really is. Not to just plug away, but plug.
Hey,
wink,
plug
wink.
it.
Hey, I'm trying to. But I created an event called the Night of $1,000 Dollies. It was a tribute show to her. So I am more than slightly obsessed. And I would ask you what you're doing in the show, but I don't want you to give your whole show away.
I am standing behind the camera and pushing the buttons to make the music start.
Well, that's a good thing to do. I was so evil that Ginger got to work for them on Dumplin'.
Oh my God. That entire experience was insane. And then we did Dumplin'. We did that whole thing. And then like a month or two later, Ginger was invited to an award ceremony where Dolly Parton was, and got to tour. It was the Grammys. Got to tour the Grammy Museum and all that other stuff, which was awesome. Dolly called her by name, and it was. She kind of melted.
Well, I know that Dolly does know who I am. If we wound up in the room together, it would happen. But I never have met her yet.
That restraining order kicked in.
Say what?
That restraining order kicked in.
Listen, nobody asked you. This is supposed to be a positive place. Don't you be throwing shade at me. No, I'm kidding. So today, are there still tickets available for today's show?
There are still tickets available. I think there's like 30 tickets left for tonight's show.
And then she just did Adele as well, right?
Yeah, we just did Adele 2 days ago, which was our tribute to Adele on Snatch Game Day, which a bunch of the girls did their Snatch Game characters. And we did Adele, her and Gidget Galore, who's an Orlando queen. She's also a former Miss National Comedy Queen. We're at her house right now. We're at Gidget Galore's house right now.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, we've been here for the last month because we knew we were going to be doing these shows. So we've been around each other because we were in the process of planning our next TV Land Live show, which, if you don't know what TV Land Live is, it's our shows that we do in Orlando at the world famous Parliament House.
Right.
We take classic TV sitcoms that are iconic and mount them for stage. So we've been doing that, and we were in the process of planning our next show, which is Gilligan's Island, when this whole thing happened, when the lockdowns happened and we weren't allowed to leave. So we were at her house anyway, and we were around each other. So we said, well, good, none of us are showing.
Is Ginger playing Ginger?
Ginger was playing Ginger. And it's a totally original script. But we took pieces from like 5 or 6 different episodes and combined them into one 2-hour show. And then
that'll be fun. I did when I was a kid, we had a church choir tour that went out, and it was the Gilligan's Island theme, and I played Gilligan.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was fun because I was goofy and lanky, and I could do all of it. It was fun.
Our Gilligan is Mr. Miss Adrian, who's an Orlando queen. Divine Grace is the professor.
I've never met Divine Grace. We're both
she's incredible.
legendary. I don't mean to say legendary, but Bette Midler fans. There's a
She's
few
old.
Bette Midler fans in the country that have like kind of known each other online for 15 or 20 years now, and she's definitely one of them.
Yeah. She's the professor. Doug Bowser, who's a well-known Orlando actor, is the skipper. Ginger is Ginger, and Gidget Galore is Marianne.
Oh,
and
that's cute.
We have April Fresh and
I love April.
April is the professor, not the professor, is Mrs. Howell.
Oh, of course.
And Addison Taylor is Mr. Howell. Yeah.
Okay, I want to try and tell the people what they need to know while I try these sour gummy bears. I haven't tried them yet.
Latrice wants to know what I'm drinking. What I'm drinking.
Oh, he went inside. I didn't know he was watching now. Hey,
well,
hey.
it is. It was because I've drunk 90% of this. It is Crown Apple with white crayon peach and a splash of the absolute apple juice that came out.
Oh.
It's delicious.
These are not very sour.
No, they're just kind of there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, they're good though.
So we were in the process of planning that, and we were at our house, and we just decided, hey, we'll just stay here because we have all these shows we're going to do, and we love Gidget and really wanted her to be a part of it. So we converted her garage into a studio. Groovy.
I'm here for it.
Also, hi Jiggly, I see you.
Hi Jiggly. We're eating jelly beans and gummy bears and stuff.
And drank
Leave
them.
my village alone. Jiggly's been killing me in Coin Master.
Girl, Jiggly, I know you're here, and I love you to death. Can we talk about Jiggly for one moment, please?
Please talk about Jiggly for just a second. I'm all ears.
So let's rewind the clock. When we were talking about the sisters getting to know us and giving us approval.
Oh, hers is hard to get.
It took me, and I'm still waiting for it, for her to approve of me. And we have.
She does not approve of me. She clearly
came to
does
Orlando
not.
And we went and played whirly ball in Orlando. We went drinking in Orlando. We went to Mickey's Not So Scary
See,
in Orlando.
she ain't never even gone drinking with me.
We went, and she's come to our shows at the Laurie Beachman, and we have hung out with
She
her
never
on a
came to
religious
see us at
basis.
the Laurie Beachman.
And I
See?
will text her. I will text her, and she will respond. And she has yet to give me approval of being Ginger's husband. Jiggly, I see you. I love you. And you look good, girl, now. You lost all that weight. You look incredible.
She's still side-eyed, though.
That's fine. Let her be side-eyed.
So listen, kids, we're trying to make this a thing. This is the Real House Husbands of Drag. This is the 2nd edition. Last week I talked to Mr. Manila Luzon, Michael Alvarez. We had a good time. That's up on YouTube's on my YouTube channel, but we're working on getting the video quality together. Sorry, bear with us. I'm so glad that CJ was with me today. Next week, did I tell you who's coming next week yet, CJ? Did I tell you?
You did not. I'm excited to hear, though.
Well, Gilbert Gaona, the husband of Shuga Cain, is gonna. I hope I said his last name right. I hope I'm. But his name is Gilbert, and he's Mr. Shuga Cain, and he's gonna be here at the same time, same bat channel next week at 4:20 on next Tuesday, the 28th. And then it's not confirmed yet, but I'm going to start this rumor and hope that it confirms by whatever the Tuesday after the 28th is. Hopefully, Mr. Ben de la Creme himself, Gus Lanza, will be my guest.
Jake,
so that
if
we
you're listening, make it happen. Jake, if you're watching, make a 10-hour video about it.
Yeah, please do. And if you guys watching know any of the other drag husbands, whether they're from a drag race queen or non-drag race queen, if you are a drag husband and you'd like to talk about that experience with me, hit us up, because that's the purpose of this new little chat show. I also did post my financial app information there. It's a pinned comment. If you're having a good time, throw us a few bucks. I swear I will send CJ half of the proceeds, anything that comes my way.
If I take my shirt off, will you tip more?
Maybe.
Let me know.
Oh, well, I mean, everything's negotiable, right? I guess. Wow.
I don't want Instagram to take it down, seeing as that Instagram takes down everything I fucking post.
So CJ, before I let you go, we have to talk about 2 things. One is I even saved these so that I can prove. I saw your little photo shoot. We had Taco Bell last night when I was still living in Tennessee, and I was dating Latrice over FaceTime. Every time that he would call, I would be in the drive-thru at Taco Bell because it was right around my house. And like I would get off work and I would just run through Taco Bell and go home and smoke a bowl and crash. Amen. And it's a huge thing. It was a joke for us for a long time, and we finally ordered it in last night.
Every time.
But you love Taco Bell too. It's a whole thing, huh?
Incredible. Taco Bell is like my church.
You see Latrice in the comments saying that every time she called, I was at Taco Bell.
But yeah, so that onesie is the most comfortable thing I've ever owned in my entire life. It is fleece lined inside. It's hot as hell, but it is comfortable. But we were in LA doing Women Behind Bars in January.
Oh, yeah.
Daniel Franzese, who was just here doing Roseanne with us, was like, hey, do you guys want to go to the Taco Bell headquarters with us? We got an invite.
Headquarters?
Yeah. He was like, we got an invite, and I love you guys. You guys are family, so if you guys want to come with us, let me know, and we'll make it happen. Michael, it was good to see you. I love you. We'll see you later. Anyway, so...
And thank you, Sid the Kid. Not to interrupt you, CJ, but I appreciate you liking the show. I'm glad you're having a good time. And hi, Allie.
Oh, I'm loving this. Is incredible. Like I told you yesterday, this is the greatest idea anybody's ever come up with, because we have well, it's true, because the girls get their side to talk about us and tell their sides of the story. And now we have our chance to do the same and let people know who we are. That we're not just husbands, that we're not just drag husbands, that we too have incredible stories to tell, not just about them, but about ourselves.
Right.
So thank you for making this happen. And
Oh,
you
well,
know,
I appreciate
this
you
will
saying
be,
that.
we will make this the most successful thing anybody's ever seen. Trust me.
Well, I hope so. I know you've been advocating for a long time to do a panel of husbands at DragCon.
Yeah.
So I'll be curious to see if you know, hopefully people enjoy this and keep sharing it and bring it to the attention of the right people, and we'll
share.
keep
Tag
doing
World
something.
of Wonder. Tag Logan. Tag VH1. Tag.
No, don't
Drag
tag
Race.
him so we can keep the money.
You ain't kidding. So anyway, he invited us.
Oh, go ahead.
He invited us to the Taco Bell headquarters in LA, and it's like 10 minutes from Disneyland. So we went. They gave us a full tour of their entire headquarters. It was incredible. To say the least.
What I'm mad about and what I miss is the gordita.
Oh,
I really loved a gordita. And I was very disappointed when they disappeared. Years ago, they had taken it off of the combo menu. So you had to order a chalupa and tell them that you wanted a gordita instead. But now you can't even do that.
Can't even do that.
And I really wish that they hadn't gotten rid of the Verdi sauce.
Oh, well, Gilbert Gaona is real mad that they got rid of that fire roasted sauce that they used to have.
Oh, I never had that.
Yeah, she's pissed that they got rid of that. But part of the tour is you get to go into their test kitchen. So me, Ginger, Daniel Franzese, and a bunch of his friends went into the test kitchen. And one of the things in the test kitchen, we got to test the triple lupa. Oh, I have a guest.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
You're in full geesh.
Yeah, I have to go be Dolly Parton in an hour.
Been there, done that.
Well, we all have to, you know, doing our part for the children.
It's true. We love you.
I love you both.
I love you. I'll be there in a minute to help you.
I'm almost done with him, I promise.
Take your time, Tasia.
So we got to test like 4 different things in the test kitchen. One was the triple lupa that just came out, which was delicious. The other one was the new watermelon freeze that just came out like 2 days ago.
Oh, I want that.
And then there were 2 other items that I can't discuss.
Oh.
That.
Oh, it's like that.
Yes, I don't know who's watching.
Oh, right. You never do you?
So I can't discuss the other 2 items, but one was absolutely amazing. The other one was disgusting, and I hope it never sees the light of day.
The only time Taco Bell ever really like did me wrong and got me together was I had ordered. Remember when they had that naked chicken chalupa?
Oh my god, that was the greatest thing in the world.
But I accidentally ordered the spicy one, and I know that my body's not ready for all that. But I ate it because it was there, and I have never regretted anything more than the
spicy
next
in,
day.
spicy out.
I was not prepared in any kind of way for the spicy one. It was really good. I can't complain about the flavor, but oh my god, it was intense. So listen, I totally stole this questionnaire from, I don't know if you remember a show called Inside the...
Inside what? You had
out there for a second on my back.
Yeah, you glitched.
Sorry about that. Inside the Actor's Studio. It used to be a show on Bravo with James Lipton, and I forget the guy's name that he stole this from, but it's just they don't add up to anything. Don't think too much about it. It's just 10 little questions. And
it's in honor of James Lipton. It's an honor.
Yes, it is. Well, I'd like to be considered the James Lipton of drag. That's the goal with this.
Just like
little, I know, right? Oh. That's not a compliment at all.
It is a compliment.
So listen,
everybody is beautiful.
What's your favorite word?
Cock.
Oh, I'll give you that one. Well, I mean, I won't give you that one, but like, you know, what's your least favorite word?
Cock. I'm just kidding. Sup.
Oh. Well, those two things tend to go together.
Sup cock or cock sup?
Wait, you stuffed?
Sup. S-U-P.
Oh, I thought you said suck.
Oh, no. No, I love that word too.
Like supping together. Like we're going to have supper.
Or like, what's up?
Oh. Oh.
Yes.
Brah.
I say
Sup,
it to
brah.
I say it because I know Ginger hates the word, and I know
Sup.
Gidget hates the word, but it just drives me insane when
Sup.
all I get is sup. Because
That's funny.
you can't just write what's up or what are you doing or how are you or what's going on. You have to write sup. What are we in the 90s again? What is
That's
it, AOL?
funny. That's funny. What sound or noise do you love?
Oh, I just tongue popped. It was a tongue pop.
Oh, that was it? I didn't realize that was it. I'm sorry. You hate that? Oh, you love it. You love it.
I love that sound.
You know what? That was Mike's answer too. We have a current reigning for
You know
best
why?
answer.
Because it's like the new Marco Polo. It's the gay mating call.
It's a little bit like that. It's a little
that
bit
or like that
that.
fucking fan thropping. Like if you hear fan throp, you know there's a gay in the area. You gotta seek him out. Yep.
So what sound do you hate?
Chewing? Like loud chewing?
Oh.
Like,
yeah,
it
sure.
drives me, like, close your fucking mouth.
So what profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Can it be something I've done already, or does it have to be something I've never done?
It can be anything that you want it to be.
I want to get back into professional wrestling.
Whoa, dude. You used to be into professional wrestling?
I used to be a professional wrestler for a little bit of time when I lived in New York.
Like what kind of wrestling?
It was like the stuff you see on TV, like WWE, AEW, stuff like that. Like I did that for 5 years.
Oh my God, I had no idea. Don't mess with
her. There are some clips and there's some photos on my Instagram. So if you want to go check it out, click on the thing right up top next to my head or Christopher's. I don't know who's on top right now. That was on purpose. And there's a bunch of there. If you go to YouTube, there's one video of me wrestling on YouTube. If you just type in Saint Suicide, you'll find it.
That's your name?
That was my wrestling name, yeah.
Word.
I was 17 when I started.
That's
or 16.
dramatic.
I was 16 when I started wrestling. And I did it for a little bit of time. Yeah, I would love to do that again, get back to it.
So what profession would you never want to attempt?
Being a drag queen.
For real though.
Nothing against them. I love them.
No, but you don't want to be one.
It's just too much work. I ain't got patience. It takes people 2 hours, maybe 6 hours to paint. Within 10 minutes, I'm good. I'm good.
And you can answer this however you want, whether it be intellectually, artistically, sexually, whatever. What turns you on?
Nice people.
You must not get turned on a lot then. What?
No, there's something about somebody who's nice because it's so hard to find nowadays. Like genuinely kind.
It's
that I'm
true.
like, oh, this
It's
person is
true.
absolutely amazing, and it's a turn on. It just is. It's refreshing.
What turns you off? It's telling us we have a minute and a half left, and I've got 2 questions
What turns
left.
me off? Rude people.
What's your favorite curse word?
Fuck.
If heaven exists, what do you want to hear God say at the pearly gates?
Sup.
Great answer. Thanks everybody for tuning in. This has been the Real House Husbands of Drag. I'm going to have this up on my YouTube as soon as I can, so look for the link on our social media. And we appreciate you tuning in. Hit us up on Venmo or Cash App if you have
Christopher, I love you. Thank you so much for including
Right back
me. I really
at
do
you.
appreciate it.
I wish I could squeeze you. I'm hugging you through the phone.
Virtual hugs.
Virtual
hugs.
hugs.
6 feet apart. 6 feet apart.
Yes. Thank you. Have a great
Thank
day
you.
and good luck on your show.
Thanks.
Thanks, everybody.